Well, that good afternoon and welcome one more time to this live commentary of our last match of the day involving Blantyre champions Scorpions playing against Parachute. Blantyre champions first choice this afternoon for Scorpions is Dan Chitsulo, who is also captain, and we also have Ruben Malambo wearing jersey number 2. 4 is Ibrahim, and we also have jersey number 14 Dumbuka. Also playing in the first team this afternoon for champions, for Scorpions Lather is Alinafe Piri. We also have Gift Msokwa as well as Wilson Tanki wearing jersey number 7. And their danger man is Robert Nyirenda wearing jersey number 11. We also have Innocent Sabola wearing jersey number 10, and 18 is George Kaunela, who is also a goalkeeper, and 19 is Alex Maliri. On the part of Central Region champions, who are Parachute Battalion, this afternoon we have Vincent Chitekwe 9, and 13 is Bashir Kera, and we also have Bonifacio Nguruwe, and 16 is Peter Goba. Tom Mbeye wearing jersey number 3. We also have Kennedy Nagamba wearing jersey number 6, and 10 is Lafao Cabuera, and Stanford Chilumba is wearing 15. 7 is Brian Gondwe, and Collins Nasiaya 4. Jersey number 1 is Kenneth Nkese, who is also a goalkeeper. Joshua Simengwa, who is also captain, wearing jersey number 14. All right, Scorpions have always emerged the victors over Parachute Battalion, despite them being champions for Central Region, and Scorpions being runners-up in the league for the Southern Region, Blantyre to be more precise. I have Benjamin Chaula here as our analyst and my co-commentator this afternoon. Ben, looking at the tournament, African Cup for club champions, Malawi hosting for the very first time. How do you rate teams' performances so far? After a number of days, teams have been playing in Blantyre, and to be more precise, at this pitch, what has been the performance like?
Basically, I would say the teams in Malawi have struggled quite a lot. You would see from the number of goals that the Malawian teams have been conceding. All goes back to in terms of preparation and also the level of game, the level of our hockey here in Malawi as compared to the international. So I would say our teams haven't performed that well as compared to our friends. And on top of that, we have Genetics Hockey Club, which I would say they had an advantage because they have played the ACCC before, the tournament like this before, and also they had a chance to go in to play international club championship. They're also going to play club in friendlies to Zambia and other countries. So they've got an upper hand against other teams that are in Malawi. That's why you see that Genetics are performing quite well in terms of teams in Malawi as compared to the rest of the clubs.
And looking at the team's performance, teams from Kenya, Egypt, we were talking about teams from Nigeria, Malawi, and the rest of other teams taking part in this tournament. Malawi's performance, in as far as other teams are concerned, there's that big gap. Why are we having this big gap in terms of performance, technical expertise, skill, and the like?
Okay, I would say basically it goes down back to issues that I was saying, exposure. Our clubs haven't been exposed more to international hockey. We've played here in Malawi, and also our hockey is not that competitive. And looking at hockey in Kenya, looking at hockey in Egypt, Uganda, and their league, they've got organized leagues which are very competitive as compared to what we have here in Malawi. And another advantage of other teams, other countries, is that they've got a lot of sponsors for their tournaments. And again, I would say the clubs also, they're well sponsored. For example, if I give you there's the Ghanaian team is sponsored by a revenue company, like the way to MRI here.
Yes.
So same as Delta Queens. Delta Queens are soldiers from Nigeria. So all these teams are well sponsored. But here in Malawi, there's no club that is being so much sponsored. Based on all players, the teams play from their own pockets. So it's out of passion.
How has infrastructure maybe affected Malawi's performance in the tournament?
Basically, I would say we had the turf since 2018, but now our game has a bit improved because of the surface. At first, when we travel outside, we would train here on grass, but we go outside there, we play on turf. It was a different ball game. But now our players are now getting acquainted with the surface. But now, at least I would say the games have improved so far.
Okay, where else, apart from Blantyre, is the game of hockey played in Malawi?
Okay, in Malawi, I would say Zomba, Mzuzu, Lilongwe, and Blantyre.
But these are teams that always play on natural grass and not artificial turf.
Exactly, natural grass and some on clay, on a clay surface.
And you have considered that there's this big gap between Malawi teams and teams from either Kenya, Uganda, Nigeria, Egypt. How much time have you given yourselves to improve, maybe to attain the level of these other teams who are competing in this tournament?
To be honest, we need like almost 10 years. Okay?
10 years from now?
Yes, for Malawi to perform at its peak. Because a normal player, when you introduce him to the game, for him to play at an elite level, you need almost 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours, you give it almost 10 years. So basically, all the players that are playing now in Malawi, right now, if we give them about 5 years to be at that level, then another 5 years to be another peak level. So to be honest, we need almost 10 years to be able to participate and perform wonders in Malawi.
Thank you very much. And that's Benjamin Chaura, who is our co-commentator today on Times Television. And teams are getting set. Tikulandireni madzulo opambana kuchokera kuno ku TTV ndi mpikisano uja wa African Cup for Club Champions umene timu ya ku Egypt Shakira ikutsogola ndi mapoint okwana 15 ndipo ikutsogozedwa ndi timu ya Western ya ku Kenya imene ili ndi mapoint patakali pano 12, ya Kampala ya ku Uganda ili pa number 3, ndipo Genetrix patakali pano ya ku Malawi yapezapo mapoint okwana 10 umutu ndi mgulu la abambo, ndipo mgulu la mayi timu imene ikutsogola ndi ya ku Kenya Records, timu imene ili ndi mapoint okwana 11 kufikira lero pamene mpikisano umene umakamaka ma statistics amasiku awiri amene apitawo patakali pano timu zakuno kumudzi ku Malawi ndi zimene zikhale zikupikisana tsopano mbwalomu timu ya Scorpions yomwe ndi yachiwiri pa ligi ya kumwera maka ku Blantyre patakali pano imene ikhale kupikisana ndi Parachute Battalion imene yavala zovala zonse zoyera madzulo ano mu mzinda wa Blantyre pabwalo limene la hockey mpikisano uja wa African Cup for Club Champions. Mwina Benjamin, kufunikira kwa masewero awawa awiri matimu awiri wa Scorpions komanso Parachute Battalion akufuna chani?
Ababa ndikuona kuti ababa ndi zakumana zenso matimu akumalawi kokha.
Scorpion ifuna upeza chani? Parachute ifuna
Parachute ndi team imene yaluza kwambiri mu tournament imeneyi and Scorpions nayo yaluza kwambiri komano yachitako bwino kusiyana ndi
kuluza kwa kunali kwa ulemu
kwa ulemu ndithu opa pang'ono pamene Scorpions nayo yaluza komabe ndithu ndi team yoti yachitabe bwino. So apa amene kuti nambe chonchimde kuti apa Parachute ifuna ionese kuti ifeyo khaita luza koma team iyo khati singatichinye yayi. Let's Scorpions nakuti inu ndinoana.
All right, Scorpions have always emerged victors over Parachute in several games these two teams have met. Where do you think Parachute Battalion need to improve this afternoon?
Basically, in terms of Parachute, they need to focus on their passes. Yeah. So basically, what their game is more played at the back, but they're failing to use the outlets, which is now to play on the side and go upright.
All right, here we go, and the game is now underway with Parachute Battalion chasing Scorpions of Blantyre. Scorpions in red shorts, red stockings, and sky blue shirts, whereas Parachute Battalion defending the southern goal are all in white with stripes, black stripes in their jerseys, as well as shorts and black stockings. It's a match that is going to be highly contested in terms of individual brilliance, because these teams have played each other several times before, but it is Scorpions who have always emerged winners over Parachute. As my colleague has already highlighted earlier on, they need to improve on their passes, and this is Parachute Battalion, who have always played the second fiddle to Scorpions. I hope weather in Blantyre, it's also good maybe to tell our viewer, our listener out there, how hot it is in Blantyre, Benjamin.
Definitely, Blantyre is extremely hot for the past 5 days, and we thought we had with the rains that came in yesterday, the weather was going to change, but it's extremely hot.
Wow, the match starting on a very, very slow pace with Parachute Battalion winning play there, trying to take a short pass way into Scorpions half, and Scorpions clears it into Safte, and they want to restart play right from the back, with Parachute Battalion very much mindful about the pressure they are to endure in this game, especially when we look at the point that they've always been winning, getting results over Parachute Battalion, who are champions for Central Region, Lilongwe to be more precise. Parachute Battalion making a precise attack inside Scorpions, trying to clear the ball into safety, short passes, looking for one player to another, still maintaining possession, and the umpire blows for, there was an infringement. Parachute wins possession one more time, and the ball goes out of touch. The umpire says it's a late start, and it's Parachute Battalion now enjoying possession. Both teams are taking it a bit slow. They don't want to exert moral energy, as they're very mindful of the hot weather in Blantyre. It's been hot, extremely hot the past 3-4 days in Blantyre, with some showers in some other townships in Blantyre, but it's still hot today. Let us wait and see. It's the game of honors. Both teams have lost with big margins, but it's the Scorpions that have been losing with some small margins compared to Parachute Battalion. But it's a game of honors now. Who wants to be a king between the two? Benjamin, some few minutes into the match this afternoon, how would you analyze Parachute Battalion's performance against Scorpions?
Basically, like what I said before, you will see that the game is more static. Our game, Malawian game, is more static as compared to when you see other games. It's more dynamic. The ball moves around. So basically, what is happening is that at least Parachute has managed to contain Scorpions from going up, because Scorpions, they like to move a little bit faster. Okay, so they like a lot of, they use a lot of turnovers. That's taken advantage. But Parachute so far has managed to contain the pressure from Scorpions.
Maybe some would be of an interest to know how much have we done as HAM, Hockey Association Malawi, to maybe introduce the game to primary schools as well as secondary schools, even colleges.
Exactly. I think it's dwells down back to issues of resources. But so far, HAM has tried to now infiltrate the army. We've also got university tournament. We also got schools tournament. So far, all that we tend to develop and build a team for the future. Like I said, 10 years. So basically, we are looking at that area whereby we have a strategic plan which is breaking down to 5-year term. So all that is looking forward now to have a good team whereby we can be able to compete at this kind of tournaments.
Innocent Sabola, wearing jersey number 10 for Scorpions, is the man to watch this afternoon, but we haven't seen some good supply from the middle up front for them maybe to create more scoring opportunities. It's more of a close.
It's quite on point. What is happening in this game is that all the time they want to play the ball in the middle. Now, if you have noticed, every time when someone has got a ball, all they want to hit. Building up, using the wings to penetrate the Parachute Battalion side. What they're doing, they're focusing their play right in the middle, which is very difficult because now Parachute Battalion has got players in the middle, now preventing Scorpions from proceeding in the middle. So what they should do is try to open up the game and use the wings to infiltrate Parachute Battalion's defense.
Well, first quarter it is. Scorpions playing Parachute Battalion, who are also champions from Central Region, central part of Malawi, and runners-up in the Southern Region, Brantia to be more precise. Scorpions are still yet to score. Both teams are still yet to score, of course, but Scorpions were favorites in this game, finding it very, very hard to penetrate through Parachute Battalion, especially with their system of operating and attacking from the middle. They're struggling to operate and attack from the wings, as Benjamin Chaura, my co-commentator and analyst, is already putting it up. And players in their strategic positions, waiting for the umpire to blow the whistle for restart of the match into this first quarter. It's been quite a slow game.
Yeah.
Quite slow game compared to teams like Shakia. We've also seen teams like Lakers from Kenya, as well as Ghana, who are also sitting at 10, 11 and 15 points respectively, playing so fast and more tactical, and their technical ability quite on the higher side compared to Malawi. But as Ben has already put it, we need at least 10 years to be at the level of these other countries, say Kenya, Uganda and Nigeria.
That's very true. If you have noticed this game, all the players are sticking to one position instead of spreading out, because when you stick to the same position, the ball won't move. So what is happening is both teams are chasing the ball instead of letting the ball move. So we always say, let the ball play. All that you need to do is just go get into, as you can see here, 7 players, 8 players, all chasing one ball. You look at this situation here. You have 3 players on one ball. There's supposed to be maybe one player there, another one supports, another one opens up. But basically, that's how our play in Malawi. Because usually we haven't acclimatized to the surface. Because when you're playing on the turf, the ball moves as compared to the
And the Scorpions
yeah.
moving it faster, short pass and the back pass, still attacking Parachute Battalion, but they win possession, and there's a foul against Battalion. And this is jersey number 14 now for Battalion, Joshua Simengwa, who is also the captain. Looking for a colleague, Boniface Ngalue, trying to attack Scorpions. Battalion defying all odds, winning possession, making more precise passes inside Scorpions half, but they're yet to score. They ought to get a goal. There would be an early substitution for Scorpions. As early as 7 minutes into the game, they're already thinking of substituting, making the first substitution of the match. Creativity and technical expertise has been quite a very big problem on the part of teams in Malawi. Maybe the more big reason being mentioned is that it's a new game that is only being introduced in the country some few years ago, and maybe lack of proper pitches or grounds has been another setback, and maybe technical expertise in terms of coaches who are up there could be also another factor. I don't know, Benjamin, how much training do Hockey Association of Malawi give to our local coaches in the country, and as far as the game is concerned?
That one, I would say we are lacking on that one, because as you can see how these teams they're playing, if they had a qualified coach who's also a tactician, will be able to advise and train them how to press himself during when they are playing the way the game they are playing. So I would say Ham is lacking in terms of training for officials, but it all goes down to the issue of finances, because usually when you have to handle a course, you need to bring an experienced coach to come and train our coaches here, so that they should understand. I've been advantaged, I've been privileged, whereby I've been trained outside the country for quite some time. I've attended courses at the international level, so I'm able to articulate in terms of how games have been played. But it's just only me. We need to have more coaches that are able now to be able to do tactics. As you can see the game, we see the whole of the players that are sticking, following the ball all the time, instead of letting the game flow, opening up spaces so they can penetrate on each other's half.
About 5 minutes and some 33 seconds left before end of the first quarter. We still were yet to see the best of Scorpions in this match, as Parachute Battalions have kept their defense more stronger maybe than Scorpions. They're very good at the back, very good at cutting any offensive moves and attacks by Scorpions, but it's still a 50-50 affair. Let us wait and see who scores first. A long pass by Battalion, but it goes out into touch. And this is Scorpions trying to build the attack from the back. But the problem is both teams using more of short passes, and the idea of climbing up at same position without opening up, maybe build an attack from the wings, try to open some spaces, is becoming more of a problem by both sides. And Battalion attacks have a chance, thwarted down by Scorpions. Want to restart from the back, but cheaply loses possession. forcing the goalkeeper for Battalion to rise up to duty, and did a fantastic job to make that brilliant save. Experience on the part of Scorpions looks to take a tall order above battalions who have started blithely despite not getting a goal. Vincent Chitekwe wearing just number 9 for Battalion, yet to register a shot at goal.
Yeah, Vincent Chitekwe is a prolific midfielder in terms of, because I've also coached him. But the challenge now is he's alone in this game. So basically he's failing to articulate with his fellow players, as you can see.
And the supply is hardly there.
Exactly, there's no supply. And there's a big of challenge in terms of how to what we call build up. So most of the game, as you can see, all the balls are being played right in the middle, and in the middle is where there's everyone. You see. And again, if you notice, our players tend to move the ball. If you watch the game against Shakia, they just touch the ball, they move. They get the ball, they pass. Get the ball to pass. Our players, both teams, they will tend to move the ball. When you see that player.
It's actually moving with the ball.
Exactly.
Not necessarily the passing the ball to either a colleague in terms of a short pass or a long pass.
Exactly.
That is not done. And this is a problem for both teams.
Both teams. Because when you move with the ball, you're putting yourself under pressure. And your friends wouldn't know where to place themselves. But when you receive, you give. We call 3 G's: get, give, and go. That's what is supposed to be happening. But it's not happening in this game.
And the goalkeeper at it again, trying to make a save, but there was that fumble and a miss, meaning Battalion, who have been tested twice by Scorpions, they need to revisit their defensive skills. Otherwise, I don't see them taking long without conceding. They're up against an experienced side and the team that is also used to this pitch than Battalion, who normally play on a natural grass and not on an artificial turf like this one. So Scorpion have an advantage over Battalion because of the pitch. Here comes Scorpions through the middle. Storm Bear. And jersey number 6, Kennedy Nagamba for Parachute Battalion. Moving back, trying to organize his fellow players, trying to tell them what to do, as they have struggled in the last minutes of the first quarter. It's almost over now in the first quarter, and teams taking some bottle of water as it is hot in Blantyre. Maybe Benjamin Chaula, end of the first quarter, we still haven't seen much from both teams, and all we saw was just 2 good attacks, 2 shots by Scorpions on the part of Parachute Battalion goal, but there has been no goal registered so far.
Yeah, that's very true. If you have observed, like I told you before, all the players, all the teams are focusing on the ball. Every team, I would say they are clamped up to where the ball is instead of being on the positions. It's because what we've now observed is that Scorpions they've got a bit of hesitancy. Also, they are fearing Parachute. Where Parachute have got nothing to lose. That's why you see that in terms of possession, Parachute has been better than Scorpions so far.
Maybe what should Parachute Battalion do come the second quarter for them to get a goal, and where should Scorpions improve come second quarter?
Yeah, Parachute, what they should do now is to play the ball on the wings, play the ball wide. They've had advantage of having the ball most of the times than Scorpions. So what they do, they need to play the ball wide. Play the ball wide and not chase the ball. In terms of Scorpions, they've got the skill, they've got the energy, but all they need to be composed. What they participating in the national team. So the second team. In terms of their play, you would notice that they don't delay to keep the ball. They let the ball move, and they're always pressing themselves in different positions. You see that they use the whole ground. This ground is so huge, but what we're doing is we're using only a small portion of the ground. I'll tell you, we're using only 10%. These teams that are playing now, they're using 10% of the surface. But when you see teams like Shakia, they use the whole ground. So in that way, you're opening up the game, and you're letting your opponents to chase the ball, getting them tired and also getting quick goals.
We're yet to see the best out of Gifty Msokwa, who is the midfielder for Scorpions. He's a very good ball distributor and a quick passer, but slightly struggling this afternoon against Parachute Battalion, Scorpions in it. The same problem with seeing players from both sides moving with the ball and not releasing the ball first time, looking for colleagues, maybe trying to generate long passes. Battalion moving back, and he hits the ball into safety as Scorpions are itching for the first goal of the match. Second quarter underway, about 12 minutes 40 seconds left before end of the second quarter. We're live here on TTV. Your commentators Peter Forte alongside my colleague Benjamin Chaula, who is our senior analyst, as well as my co-commentator. Benjamin, we have seen maybe a recurring problem, that of short passes, and team are playing a quarter of the surface.
Exactly, that's very true. They are playing the quarter of the surface, like you have said it exactly. The teams need to use the whole ground for them to be able to play the ball better. And also, when you use the whole ground, you enjoy the game because the ball moves and you don't get tired by you chasing the ball. So what you're doing, you're using the whole width and let the other team chase, they get tired. But if you can see what is happening here, both teams are chasing where the ball is going, which is, the game is not even exciting. It's what we're going to call it. This game is very cold so far.
About 11 minutes 30 seconds left before end of the second quarter. No goals from either side here in Blantyre, and that is Scorpions taking on Parachute Battalion. Parachute Battalion all the way from Salima. I heard some of the players were involved in the military exercise to do with jumping from the plane 2 days ago and yesterday, and they're also involved today in this match. I expected them to be tired, but they don't seem to be tired at all. This is just number 10 for Parachute Battalion, Lafo Cabuera, attacking from the right flank, but the end product for that drive was not that good. They lost the ball easily for Scorpions to restart play from the back. We're yet to see a goal and maybe some trickly way of playing from both sides, something we haven't seen the entire first quarter and the first 5 minutes into the second quarter. Benjamin has attributed a dismal performance by Malawi teams in this tournament, African Cup for Club Champions, to lack of proper pitches by teams in the country, and maybe lack of technical expertise by the coaches. Very few trained and qualified coaches who would make a difference. Maybe we're yet to do that, as hockey is now being taught in primary and secondary schools and some few colleges in the country. Still 0-0, about 9 minutes left. Scorpions. And the final touch has always been a problem by both sides. As we saw, is it just number 18, George Wanela, is a goalkeeper, defying odds, maybe trying to take a long pass, but landed on an open net. Battalion trying to make a long pass inside Scorpions half, but doesn't pay any dividend. Scoring has been one of the biggest problems for many teams in Malawi, and it's not only these two teams playing this afternoon, Scorpions and Parachute Battalion, but slowly and gradually we should be there.
Yeah, definitely. Slowly and gradually we should be there. I will tell you, this tournament has been a very good experience for Malawi teams. Usually, including the format, because usually when the first one, it was a group format, whereby teams will play in each group. So basically, a team will play maybe 2 or 3 games, then tournament is over. But this one is round robin. So there are 7 teams. That means each team is playing 6 games. So that means you're getting a lot of experience. You're playing teams from Malawi, both from Malawi and from other countries. There you're learning new things, and also in terms of that, you're also improving yourself in terms of your game.
Parachute Battalion being tested heavily, and this is the 3rd time into the match and the first time into the second quarter. Goalkeeper George Wanela has been heavily tested, but Battalion are yet to get a goal.
Yeah, Parachute Battalion, you see now the game has changed now. It's now Parachute Battalion on the defensive side. They've now retrieved back to their own half. That's where they're playing. They're failing now to go out on the ball. Now, when you're playing like that, you're putting yourself under pressure. That's why you see the ball comes wave after wave, because now they'll come back and they're sitting down. So that's when you get kind of pressure, you end up easily conceding a goal. Right now, Scorpions have got the momentum, and also they're trying to penetrate Parachute Battalion's side, but they are not of that threat to Scorpions' goal.
Maybe how much improvement do you expect by end of this tournament by our teams and our local players?
I expect a lot of changes. I'm telling you, after this tournament, our game will change. One, there's attitude. The attitude towards the game. Two, in terms of sportsmanship. We always fight each other. But you see here, the officiation is top notch. The organization is perfect. Even the teams that are playing, they're playing against top class clubs in their own countries, which are champions in their countries. So that gives us opportunity to learn a lot of things in terms of sportsmanship, in terms of skills, in terms of organization and preparation. For example, you'd see that now every team is now wearing socks, everything. But usually when you're playing our league, you find a player who play without even socks.
And it's a goal. Scorpions have it.
Remember what I said. When you are playing, you're playing back in your goal, that's what happens. You end up conceding.
Maybe how would you describe that goal?
That is a short corner with what they played, and I think the mistake was on the defenders. They distracted the goalkeeper from seeing where the shot was coming. So at the end of the day, goalkeeper missed the point, missed the ball, and the ball went into the goal, and they conceded.
We expect a quick reaction by Battalion in this match, as the match now taken a slightly faster pace compared to the rest of the minutes we've been here. So let us wait and see how Battalions are going to react. Scorpions. The delivery was not that good. He exerted more forcefully, resulting into the ball getting into out of play, lather, and as we put it, we are yet to see how Battalions are going to respond to that goal by Scorpions, who have always been on top of their game every time they play Battalions. And there was an infringement, and the umpire says it's now a free kick to Scorpions, who have consequently lost possession. Gift Msokwa for Scorpions, moving a bit deeper, trying to protect the defense and possibly his goalkeeper. It will appear that's a short penalty.
Yeah, that's it's a foul because the ball hit at the back of the stick for the Scorpions player, so
Yes.
it becomes a foul towards Parachute Battalion.
And one thing I have noted is that both teams are failing to take long shots from those long ranges. They really pushing hard to maybe get goals from the maybe from the D.
Exactly.
Or inside the D.
Yeah. So like I said before, what we're lacking in this game is that we're lacking, as you're saying, long passes and also side passes. Because in hockey we call it running lines. That's where the ball moves quicker. So these guys are, for example, you get a ball here, you're passing the player who's just 5 meters away from you. what are you trying to achieve? Nothing, because the ball is still on the same position. You need to make the ball move at least maybe 20 meters, 30 meters away from you. In that way, then you're moving. But most of the time, all the passes they're passing 5 meters, 6 meters. The ball doesn't move. So that's a challenge for us.
Only less than 2 minutes left before end of the second quarter, and this will be now half time. Scorpions are leading by that slender goal. It's a slender lead rather, but just a goal that came into this half, and they're still maintaining possession. Hitting hard from the wing. What a 10 by Scorpion jersey number 16. And the umpire blows the whistle for half time. Ben, it's half time, still Scorpion leading by that single goal, and it was a Battalion who dominated play despite not scoring. What has been their problem on the part of Battalions, and what is it that Scorpions have done correctly in the second half?
Basically, like what you just said, the first quarter, Parachute Battalion had the game, and they enjoyed much of the possession. So the player who's playing on the basically, I would say the player who's playing with number 7, 7, Bondo. He's a big from the middle. Yeah, and they also have a good defender by name Bonifacio. What is doing now is defending too. Being on his so when you defending too deep, you're giving your opponent to come into you, and then you put yourself. What is supposed to do is just maybe move up to the third line, then that is in the middle there. Where you can say, if they distribute it, you can able to cover. The next option. And again, they're only focusing on playing the ball in the middle. They need to try to play the ball on the left side. The Scorpions now seems to be weaker on the right hand side. The left hand side.
How about Scorpions? Where do they need to improve even more to get even more goals? They're only leading by that slender goal, which they got early into the second quarter, but they can do better.
Yeah, Scorpions need to let the ball move. They should not stop. They should not hold the ball too much. They should let the ball move, and again, every player should stick to his positions. Their players are not disciplined in terms of positioning. So you find a midfielder, you can find him all the way to the left-hand side. Okay, you find a midfielder all the way to the right-hand side. You find the same midfielder all the way to the defense. It means there's a lack of discipline in terms of positioning. So what they need to do is to stick to their positions and let the ball move. Stop chasing that ball and stop moving with that ball. Quick passes will get them more goals than holding to the ball too much.
Thank you so much. That's Benjamin Chaura, our co-commentator and senior analyst in this live commentary in the African Cup for Club Champions for hockey in Malawi, being played in Malawi and Blantyre, to be more precise, for the very, very first time. It's the 34th men's edition, and this is also a 25th women's edition taking place here in Blantyre, Malawi.
Then take all the medals home.
Ben, you're now trying to make me laugh. You're worried about them eating our food, eating our rice, enjoying our chambo, and they get to their respective countries with every trophy, and they leaving us trophyless. So you're at least looking for at least something, and your only hope is for the this genetics team.
Exactly. Genetics right now is like it's now keeping our hopes. We hope definitely can get up to the semi-finals, or maybe you can go to the finals. That's our hope. And I would give you a teach and also give them more knowledge of the game. Most of the teams that are playing now, from Parachute and the rest of the teams, they haven't gone to play any international tournament. This is their first time. So it's a learning curve for them. We are here. Let's learn and improve from our game from there. Because the next time, let's see more teams coming in to play and to participate. Sure.
Well, there'll be more commentary now as we are into a third quarter. Scorpions back in the game with that goal scored into the second quarter, and are now defending the servant goal. Scorpions trying to create an attack from the wing, and the referee says it's Scorpions ball. Parachute Battalion still chasing the game. There have been so many whistles in the last 13 seconds or so, or a minute or so. So many stoppages by the umpire. Scorpions jersey number 16 should be 6 leather, not 16. Gift him Sokwa, looking more industrious this afternoon leather. But the coordination from the middle to players playing up front has also been a problem. There's that gap on the part of Scorpions, but let us wait and see how the coach is going to rectify that problem. Normally, Ben says tournaments of this kind have always a plus despite whatever result, because at the end of the tournament, players get one or two things, new things they did not know. So they up the game, they get a lot of experience and more knowledge of the game. So we should commend Hockey Association of Malawi for hosting the tournament. Scorpions still operating from the middle, and now they're trying to break through, but the referee thinks otherwise. Battalion, they seem to have given up. I can't see the will to attack even more, losing possession so easily. Something that should be very, very worrisome to their coach.
Yeah, definitely. They haven't gone there. They should take the game to Scorpions at this moment, because now Scorpions, their aim is now they're defending that ball, but then it's an advantage because the more when you're defending, you end up conceding. So you'll see that the way the teams are playing. This is a good.
It's another chance. Another chance. Missed. That was a very golden opportunity for Scorpions with that faster play, long, fast passes into Battalion's half, attack the D zone. They were very unfortunate not to have scored that one. And there is a corner. It's got short corner. It's a short corner. Let us wait and see. When a team has been awarded a short corner, 4 players are allowed from the opposing team to mark.
Yeah, definitely. When it's a short corner, only 4 players are supposed to defend the short corner, and the rest of the players should be outside the halfway line. It's more of a penalty.
A half penalty, to be more precise.
Exactly. Because at international level, every short corner is a goal.
Every short corner.
Every short corner. And if a team considers a short corner,
You know for sure
they say
we are
breaks.
in for trouble.
Definitely.
So it's not the case with Scorpions in this match.
I would say our Malawian teams, that isn't happening.
As we wind up the day
Still
today,
on the lower side.
Yes.
tomorrow's stage is as follows.
Scorpions.
Game
And a chance. Whipper moves out of his position, trying to help his defense. The coach is not happy with their
tomorrow's
team's
stage
performance. I don't know whether to call it this afternoon or this evening. It's getting dark. I haven't seen any lights
will
here.
play match number 43,
Been okay. They
10
put on
o'clock
the right.
AM
Maybe
for third place.
it's good that way.
Women's category.
Scorpions
Thereafter,
looking more
match number
dangerous
44,
now,
the men's category
trying to push battalions
for third place again.
back in defense,
And the final for the
As,
women will be played at
looking for a second
as
goal.
match 45 of the tournament. Will be played at
Brain
2
Gondwe,
o'clock.
a guy Benjamin Chaura says
1600
should have
hours.
been operating
That's
from
4
the
o'clock.
wing and has got an
men's
eye for the
final
goal and
will
a
be
very
played.
good pass,
All teams
but the
are
appears
asked to
a
arrive
bit slow. And there was a chance
in the stadium
for Battalion and also for the goalkeeper moving
at
out
9
of his
o'clock.
goal area.
All teams that have
help
participated in
the
this tournament
defense.
are being asked
And
to
it's-
report
It's
for the tomorrow's function from 9
is
o'clock.
it a short corner as well?
After the games, there will be
A
a
short corner to
presentation
Battalion.
of the trophies, medals,
Short corner to
and
Battalion.
individual awards right
It's
here in
taken
the
by
stadium.
just number 8, Boniface
Delegates will
Glue.
be departing Malawi on Monday, some on Tuesday. Kindly be informed
Glue.
that in Malawi there's also
He misses. No, second
Congress
attempt he can't
for
get that one.
Hockey
Falls
Federation.
down and
African Hockey Federation is having a congress in
seems
Blantyre.
has picked a slight
and
injury.
delegates are still coming in.
And the
congress
umpire
is
says
happening
there's
in
need for a
Blantyre,
retake.
Royals Hotel
Has
from 20.
already put it. 4 players are allowed to defend.
So we still have visitors around the country
So,
until somewhere on Wednesday.
Let's see what will happen. They still
Teams will
can't
parade after
score.
the final before the presentation. I'd
Battalion
like to ask all the teams to have their teams
are
ready
looking
and dressed in uniforms
more
representing their
aggressive
country.
this time around, but lacking
Tomorrow
that
we
killer
have
instinct to
Other
get a goal.
dignitaries that are
That's
also
very
coming
true.
to attend the
now,
function. This
Parachute
will
Battalion
include
is now bringing the game
the
to
African
Scorpions.
Up the
Federation
game.
Exactly, they're
Hockey
up there again,
president
and Scorpions is now on
and
the
other
defending side.
dignitaries that are coming to attend the Congress. Presidents and general secretaries in Africa
As
will be
we
in
put it
attendance,
area
including
on, this is the
government
first of its kind, the
officials.
first tournament Malawi is hosting. And as far as
So the first
African
match is at
hockey
10 o'clock.
for top clubs is concerned,
Kumaliza, kusema
and
Mackenzie amenewa.
I understand some of the teams will be leaving
Taika 10
on
o'clock,
Monday
Mamawa.
and some will be leaving on Tuesday,
Imene ndi Yopeza number 3.
depending on flights.
Game number 44 ikhale ya Nyamata
Ndi masewero
kupeza number 3.
a hockey amene akuchitikira ku Blantyre
Finals ya atsikana ili 2
kuno
o'clock.
kumudzi.
Finals ya
Kabwera
Nyamata
matimu
ili
osiyanasiyana
4 o'clock.
kuchokera ku maikonso osiyanasiyana
Tikazamaliza magames amene
amuno mu
atisakani
Africa.
mabo wa ma awards,
Tili ndi Shakia
trophies,
omwe ndi amene
medals,
akusunga chikho chimenechi kuchokera ku
zoyambula
Egypt.
yampula, ndi
Komanso
zina zosangalatsa.
Kuli matimu ngati Ghana
Thank you.
amene akutenga nawo gawo pa mpikisano umenewu, komanso Western Jaguars kuchokera ku Kenya, Genetrix konkuno ku Malawi, komanso Kampala ya ku Uganda ndi ena mwa matimu amene akutenga nawo mbali mu mpikisano umenewu wa African Cup for Club Champions umene ndi wa nambala 34 kwa matimu amuna muno mu Africa komanso ndo namba 25 kwa matimu amayi muno mu Africa. And a chance for Scorpions, the goalkeeper making a double clearance there, saving his team from more embarrassment as they're already down by a single goal. A goal to one, to be more precise. Parachute Battalion. And with 4 minutes left, Ben, maybe your sentiments on what should Scorpions do to get a second goal, and what should Battalion do maybe to keep defending generously as they also attack?
What they need to do is now to try to the pressure that's coming by the or two coming in.
That's according to Benjamin Chaura. He says there will be a goal or at least two coming through from either sides. Let us wait and see. I don't see any goal coming through, despite the pressure being exerted by Battalion. The umpire seems to be tired as well.
Yeah, definitely. But also, what if you have observed, our players are more focused on playing. So when there's an infringement, instead of focusing on the game. So instead of just focusing on playing, so that's it. That's like we should, as a players, we should focus on playing the game, not umpiring. When there's a foul, every player is listening. But if you check for other teams, they wait for the whistle. They play for the whistle. So even there's an infringement, they keep on playing. So when the whistle should come, it should come. If it doesn't come, let it go. So ours is the foul is raising hands. The time you're raising hands, you're forgetting that you're playing the game and you should be playing. So it's not every ball that becomes a foul. That means an umpire should blow. There's some fouls that they definitely. If that one who was committed an infringement doesn't get an advantage of it, an umpire cannot blow. So that's another challenge that we have, whereby you're also focusing on umpiring as well instead of focusing on playing.
It's another chance, another golden opportunity missed. Goalkeeper for Battalion looking very, very strong in goals and always on guard, always alert. He has prevented or stopped, intercepted a lot of shots. You see, the players are not playing to the whistle. They always stopping, moving, looking at the umpire every time an infringement happens, and this is bad according to Benjamin, because the time you forget that you're a player, you're supposed to be playing, you're supposed to be concentrating, you give room to the opposing side to attack even more and maybe even get a goal.
Yeah, that's very true. Let the umpire blow the whistle. They should play to the whistle. They should not focus on umpiring as well. Because in that way, you're focused on umpiring, you end up getting frustrated if an umpire doesn't go. If that infringement doesn't go your way. So if they focus only on play, you won't even notice that in the game there's an umpire, and their game will be very smooth. But the challenge is now every infringement, everyone is raising hands. Every infringement, everyone is raising hands. And at the end of the day, the game is not moving. We are only focusing on umpires and us playing.
End of the third quarter, are still Scorpions leading by that goal scored into the second quarter. We haven't seen much from Blantyre Giants, Scorpions. All we saw was an attack by Battalion, but they still didn't get a goal. Coming into the final quarter, which is very, very important and more decisive in as far as the game, the result of this match is concerned, what do we expect of Scorpions, who are runners-up in the Southern Region Hockey League and up against champions for Central Region Parachute Battalion?
Yeah, it's a third quarter, so it's a time whereby everyone has to throw the last. Yeah, it's a final quarter, so everyone has to throw the last dice that they have. Every card has to be thrown in. If Parachute Battalion wants now to salvage this game, they need to move now. They need to move more into Scorpions half. Scorpions, they took two tasks. What they want, they're defending the goal that they have, but also they need to. So they are the ones that are now. Parachute Battalion have got nothing to lose. They have the chance now to go into Scorpions half and maybe get a goal if they can salvage something, anything. But otherwise, I see the game now ending at 1-0. If not,
But you just made a remark about some 7 minutes ago saying that you're seeing at least two goals, if not just a goal, and now there's change of tune. Why a change of a decision you made just some 7 minutes ago?
Okay. At first, I thought Scorpions would be a better team in the second half. Looking at they've got an advantage of going in their pocket. So what they've done is they've scored. They've scored one goal. They're happy. They've gone back now to just the normal game. While Parachute Battalion, they're losing. That's why now they're taking the game to Scorpions. Now Scorpions is now defending their goal and also still wanting to beat Parachute Battalion, because this is like a Malawi affair. But at the end of the day, it's how you approach to the last quarter which matters, because usually coaches are always
well away into the final quarter of the match. It's the fourth quarter. 15 more minutes of action here in Blantyre at the Chichiri Hockey Stadium in Blantyre. It's an artificial turf. Government invested a lot of money to mount this state-of-the-art stadium. How we wish we had one in Zomba, one in Mzuzu, and maybe one in Mulanje. Why not?
That's very true, but the challenge is that resources are all that always because it's a lot of money. The turf itself is very expensive, and when you go back to government, you say we have other difficulties to do. You cannot just focus on hockey and other sports. We've given you the turf, and the other turf, it's up to you now to look forward. But the thing is, this one, the turf itself was a donation. Yes. So Malawi government is which has completely changed the landscape of hockey, because now we're able to host this sport, which we never. And every time we're going into other countries to play, where we'll be getting hammered by 60 goals, 70 goals. I remember there's one game that I played, we lost to 25-0 to Kenya in Johannesburg.
And what was the feeling like?
It was very embarrassing.
Well, say Scorpions now mounting Battalion Leather, mounting an attack inside Scorpions half in search of the equalizer that we're yet to see. getting dark. It's getting dark, slowly getting dark here in Blantyre. There hasn't been that good patronage for the game and for the games. What would be the reason?
The major reason is that there's very few people that follow it. Basically, it's the players that are watching. Just very few people that are participating in the tournament that are watching the games. But we don't have any those what we call fans that can come and participate and watch the games. And again, I think it also goes down to the issue of how do we advertise these games, how do we reach out to the people, how to train them to be able to participate. But otherwise, we have a problem.
And there's a goal! An equalizer! What a fantastic goal! Beating two defenders for Scorpions who were busy sleeping on duty. Just number 13 for Battalion getting that goal, and none other than Bashir Kiara. He took a very hard shot, beating the goalkeeper and two central defenders in the process.
Yes, exactly. If you remember when I said Scorpions are defending, they're doing two things. They're defending the goal that they scored, and they think they're comfortable. Now, Parachute Battalion has taken the game to the Scorpions. That becomes a challenge now. But now you see now the scope of the game completely changes now, because now then everyone knows it's the last quarter. That's what now is when throwing the last piece of the dice. But when you defend, that's what you get.
Exactly what we said some few minutes ago, that Battalion have been the best team in the second and third quarter, and we're not surprised at all to see an equalizer with 10 minutes and 30 seconds to go before end of this match. And there's now pressure on Scorpions, who are now badly looking for a winning goal. They're all out in attack, but defending jealously is Battalion, defending in numbers. The umpire says it's a free kick. But the soldiers are back in it, and the man comes again. Kiara saved. Scorpions living dangerously now.
Yeah, exactly. So now the pressure is now on Scorpions, because like I said, Parachute Battalion have nothing to lose. Scorpions has to prove a point. But what is happening is that they've also now gone back. They've gone to sleep, I would say. Their focus on the game has completely changed. They don't have any, you can't see any strength in it. So that becomes a challenge, because now you're getting the balls back to back. They almost consider another goal there. Now it's a short corner, which is almost a penalty. But it depends on how Parachute Battalion is going to use this one, because most of the times
it's a short corner, which is a half penalty. In North African countries, it's almost a goal, as you put it earlier on. Let us wait and see how they're going to take that one. And served again. The goalkeeper, very, very brilliant. And the umpire has just made another gesture for another short corner. 4 players guarding the goal, defending the goal. Battalion coming wave after wave. Let's see that one cleared away. The ball being shot into safety, living dangerously as Scorpions. And maybe this would be a sweet revenge if Battalion wins this match. They've always played the second fiddle to Scorpions, and it's getting dark in Blantyre.
Yeah, definitely. And that one is that foul that was committed there the umpire has given that player a green card. In hockey, green card, that means you go out for 2 minutes.
And what if you commit a serious, a serious foul, a serious offense?
Red card.
That's a red card, but for now it's a green card, and there's also a yellow card, I know. Both goalkeepers have been very, very busy this evening. Parachute Battalion goalkeeper have made more saves than Kenneth Nkwese rather has made more saves than goalkeeper for Scorpions George Kuonera, and has helped his team. It's another short corner for Scorpions and missed.
When it's a short corner, you guys need to get to the top and discuss how can you execute it. But what you guys are doing is just playing it as a normal
Rushing
game.
into getting the ball played
Without
without having a tete-a-tete, without talking to each other. What you're gonna do? There's another chance, and the umpire says no. There was an infringement, and it's a free kick. But some of these mistakes being committed by both teams this evening can easily be eradicated by you the coaches.
Exactly.
Don't you guys talk during break? Don't you guys talk to your players how you want to execute your game plan? Who takes a shot, a corner, and where some of the players going to be positioned? Don't you discuss some of these things?
I think sometimes
as coaches,
you do understand hockey, yeah? Because some of the terminology that you're using are exactly the way that happen in hockey. Because usually, when there's a short corner, when you've got a training, you need to know who are your short corner takers.
yes.
Exactly the same as in the penalty. You know, definitely when it's a penalty, you know Benjamin is going to take that penalty because he is trained for that. Short corner is the same thing. Fouls outside the D, out 25-yard line. This is how you do. That's how the tactic of coaches. And most of the times, game like hockey, you can plan it in terms of quarters. You say first quarter, let's hold the ball, let's pass the ball. Second quarter, let's attack. Third quarter, that's the time now. That's when now we can play. Let's get to them. Game to them. The last quarter now, they said game. They said the ball should be in their opponent's half, not in our half. That's how coaches' tactics should work. But basically, our team, they're only focusing on. They're looking at the whole 60 minutes, not in breaking down. Because usually we can say, okay, guys, let's just watch how our friends are playing this first quarter. Let's contain them. Second quarter, let's move forward. That's how it should happen. But usually it's, I would say, bad knowledge of coaching is the one that's also affecting the teams to play like this.
4 minutes left before end of the match. It's still 1-1 here in Blantyre. Battalion have been enjoying massive support here. Some few guys blowing vuvuzelas and some cheering, and some shouting.
You see the guys raising hands all the time. Why would you just focus on playing?
This is a huge problem where players cannot play to the whistle.
Exactly, it's the biggest problem. You focus on playing, you enjoy the game, and your mind is so focused on the game. But when you want to every infringement, you raise your hands. You become an umpire as well. So are you a player or an umpire? Choose one thing. Then you can enjoy the game.
Still 1-1 here. Scorpions 1 scored their goal and the first goal of the match in the second quarter. And in this final quarter, Battalion fought back to pull a goal. And it's 1-1 here. We have 3 minutes unofficially left to wind up the game as darkness has now started hitting hard. It's now clipping, but we are lucky with some light, very good floodlights here, as good as an afternoon. But these are some of the innovations that we need. We should have had one pitch like this one in the world.
Definitely. I totally agree with you, because then our game can be more important. Because now, the only advantage the teams that are playing in Atlanta, because they've got the tough. What about the teams in Rongo? What about the teams in Zuzu? What about the teams in Salina? That one becomes our challenge. But otherwise, I believe we want to see the game improving more.
Thank you very much. That's Benjamin Chaula, my co-commentator this evening, as Scorpions are taking on Parachute Battalion, and it's 1-0 here. One man for Battalion is still down to an injury, and the medics are being called to duty. They'll treat him as infield player. Some are suggesting that maybe he's taken off the pitch, but still being treated inside the pitch. Let's hope there is stoppage of time by the umpire.
So in hockey, when you've got that injury whereby the medic teams come in, a player has to go out of the field before he can come in, because you never know what kind of an injury that the player has sustained. So that's why they have to take him out. Even the moment they just walk in by 2 feet or 3 feet, at the end of the day, the player has to go out before he can come in.
And maybe one would like to know, Ben, as to how much do people play hockey across the world?
Hockey is more common in Commonwealth countries, because it was brought in by the British to all these countries. So right now, hockey has become popular even at Olympics in Europe. But in Africa, it's more countries that are, like I said, Commonwealth countries that are now playing, are now enjoying the, more of the games. For example, if we took it by numbers, southern part of Africa, is the one that has got more countries that are playing hockey than the eastern region, and also then the northern part of Africa.
But we have Shakia from Egypt,
Exactly.
who were never under British colonialism, but
Yes.
they're here enjoying the game and being a king in Africa.
Exactly. But what you know, what you have to know is the teams that dominates hockey in Africa in terms of national team is Africa. So Egypt always becomes second, and this has been happening for the past 20-30 years. All Africa Cup of Nation hockey tournament is won by South Africa. So mostly it's more of the countries that are now part of the British colonies. But now it's gone out of the way. We now have Asian teams, Asian countries or Arab-speaking countries that are also even dominating as well. Because previously it used to be dominated by India, Pakistan, but now there's Netherlands, there's Belgium, there's Australia. All these have now improved their games, and hockey has become popular.
And Scorpions being denied a scoring opportunity again.
Yeah, they had 2 short corners.
2 short corners, but they didn't utilize them. As Battalion are now looking for the final hit. Blocked by the goalkeeper. And what a save. But he missed it. The ball. Artist made 2 brilliant saves. Brilliant attempts, rather, but it's something that the battalions are regretting. They should have taken advantage of that chance.
Exactly. It all depends on the tactics that you're playing. The moment you'd see that 3 players for Battalion were stagnant on the one same spot. They should have spread around into outside the D. In that way, they could have enjoyed more play.
And they score! Wilson Tanky. This is Ibrahim. Should be Brain Gondwe. Jersey number 7. getting what should be a winning goal for Parachute Battalion after playing second fiddle to Scorpions for a long, long time in this country. They've grabbed a late winner, and the celebration is massive.
I told you, Peter, we are yet to see more goals from Parachute Battalion. It all goes down to Scorpions, whereby when they score one goal, they became confident and they stayed in their own half, allowing Parachute Battalion to come in to push them putting them under pressure, and that's the gate.
20 minutes before end of the game, you predicted that you're going to see 1 or 2 goals, only changed in the final quarter. Yeah. What do you have to say?
What I would say is the Scorpions are the culprit on this game. They should have won this game outright. But the challenge that I was telling you, they focus playing the ball in the middle. Secondly, when they scored that run goal, they become confident. They said they enjoyed it and they went back and sit back. So when you sit back, the ball keeps coming to you. When you get more pressure, you concede. This is what has happened.
Thank you very much. That's Benjamin Chaula, our senior analyst and my co-commentator this evening, also marking the end of our live commentary here in Blantyre. And it's been Parachute Battalion who have laughed it more, getting the final laugh, beating Scorpions by 2 goals to 1 with that final finish by jazz number 7, Brain Gondwe, who is smiling even more than Scorpions. My name is Peter Ford, your commentator. See you tomorrow in our subsequent live commentaries. God willing, it's bye-bye.